Enterprises, Inc.
Hello everybody, KUAM is who we are, Harmon is where we reside, and the Hotspot is what we are presenting to you. Hafaday is what we live each and every day. I'm Jason Salas and this is today's show. Let's go.
The Menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
On today's episode, a man is now wanted for questioning relative to an armed robbery that took place up in Jigo. Also, a Guam Visitors Bureau membership forum clears the air about internal tension at the agency. We'll also take you to the central part of the island for this week's Properties in the Tropics and introduce you to three more candidate conversations. We have a conversation with the candidates. That's why we call it Candidate Conversations. All right, well, authorities are looking for a man wanted in connection to an armed robbery that reported at the Shell gas station in Jigo. That, of course, happened last month. Police are now on the hunt for 24-year-old Brandon Flores, who was last seen in the Agafa Gumas area up in the northernmost village of Jigo. Detectives tell us he's also known to go to the Pagat area over in Mingilao, Isengsong in Derido, and the general area of Sinanya. Officers also arrested Bob Kanata for his alleged involvement in the August 22nd robbery in Jigo, along with two other recent robberies in Hagat. Should you see Brandon Flores, please do not approach him. Please call GPD's dispatch immediately. 53-year-old Jeanette Valoria Ermita was arrested and charged with harassment. As court documents state that on September the 19th, a woman reported to police she'd been receiving threatening messages via WhatsApp from several phone numbers originating from Nigeria. The text messages included, and I quote, "I'm assassinator. I was hired to kill you because of this man. Do you know him or not?" End quote. Messages also demanded the woman quit her job within a week and included personal information about her. Ermita was questioned by police and admitted she paid $200 through PayPal to a person to make the threats. President Biden addressed the UN confronting global crises affected millions of people, but the bulk of his speech was a forceful condemnation of Russia's invasion of the Ukraine and a call to nations to stand in solidarity.
President Biden accused Russia of shamelessly violating the core principles of the United Nations with its war in Ukraine.
This war is about extinguishing Ukraine's right to exist as a state, plain and simple. That should make your blood run cold.
Speaking before the United Nations General Assembly, the president said Russia is trying to erase a sovereign state from the map, and he called on world leaders to hold the Kremlin accountable.
If nations can pursue their imperial ambitions without consequences, then we put at risk everything this very institution stands for.
Those comments came hours after a fiery speech from Vladimir Putin. After a series of setbacks in Ukraine, the Russian president said he's calling up 300,000 military reservists. And he made a veiled threat about using nuclear weapons, saying, quote, "This is not a bluff." President Biden spoke at the UN for nearly half an hour. The war in Ukraine was the #1 topic, but he also touched on other global issues, from hunger to climate change.
Much of Pakistan is still underwater, needs help. Meanwhile, the Horn of Africa faces unprecedented drought. Families are facing impossible choices, choosing which child to feed.
The president also held a series of side meetings, including with the new British Prime Minister, Liz Truss.
We are steadfast allies.
The allies agreed to work together in confronting Russian aggression. While in Russia itself, Putin's mobilization of new troops sparked anti-war protests and dozens of arrests.
Also today, Russia did release 2 Americans who were captured while fighting with Ukrainian forces. Saudi Arabia says it mediated the release of 10 prisoners altogether from a number of countries as part of an exchange between Russia and the Ukraine. Back here in the 671, the dispute continues between GVB's management and a group of industry-leading elected board members. Management held a membership forum yesterday, in part to help explain why the board has not met in 4 months. President and CEO, former Governor Carl Gutierrez, read a statement that lays out why he believes there are conflicts of interest with the elected members and why he took it upon himself to launch a legal review of the rules that govern authority by the board of directors at the agency tasked within the government to promote tourism.
The bylaws on its face conflict with the law that created GVB and the open government law, and has been this way for a long, long time. I am so thankful for the legislature especially Senator Joe S. San Agustin and Senator Clint Rigel, for understanding this complicated issue and fixed it by giving the general manager fiscal and personnel authority over the Bureau.
They did this by amending the fiscal year 2023 budget bill that gives President Guterres the power effective for 1 year. For the time being, he did tap legal counsel Joe McDonald and a consultant specializing in ethics law to conduct a regulatory review. McDonald summarized some of the findings during that forum.
The general manager shall serve as the Bureau's chief administrative officer. The day-to-day operations of the Bureau shall be the province of the general manager. The general manager shall be primarily responsible for maintenance, operation, development, and administration of the Bureau's business affairs.
Attorney McDonald then went on to describe the duties of the board members. According to what he read, their roles were promotional, advisory, and supportive in developing the tourism industry. GVB will hold an in-person forum in November, during which time they're expected to present revised bylaws and a corrective action plan, which membership will be asked to vote on. To weather news now, forecasters believe that Hurricane Fiona could strengthen as it winds down towards Bermuda. The storm is being blamed for at least 4 deaths throughout the Caribbean. Officials in Puerto Rico say as of last night, more than 1 million customers remain without power and more than 700,000 people are without running water.
Residents of Puerto Rico continue to clear mud and water from their homes. Parts of the island saw more than 25 inches of rain from Hurricane Fiona, which led to what some officials there are calling historic flooding.
That was awful, honestly.
At Logan Airport in Boston, those arriving from Puerto Rico recounted their fear of drowning in the floodwaters.
We stayed in one room, like in a little corner that it was safe. That's where we were. Like a whole night with no light and nothing, because the place was so dark.
With much of the island still without power, many are still waiting to hear word from their families.
I haven't been able to talk to my mom and see how she's doing.
Puerto Rico's governor told CBS News he expects power to be back on for many by the end of today. Local resident Luis Noguero is hoping he's among them, saying he went a full year without electricity after Hurricane Maria, a storm that devastated Puerto Rico exactly 5 years ago. The island was still recovering from that direct hit when Fiona struck. Gerardo Rodriguez, who says just about everything she owns has been destroyed, thinks this week's storm may have actually been worse than Maria. Once Fiona passed Puerto Rico, it lashed Turks and Caicos Tuesday as a Category 3 storm, with winds up to 115 miles per hour, flooding streets and uprooting palm trees. Early this morning, the National Hurricane Center said Fiona intensified into a Category 4 storm as it makes its way towards Bermuda later this week. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
All right, my friends, it being Thursday, we are going to give you properties in the tropics. And for this week, our friends in the realty industry are going to take you maybe about 2.5 miles right up the hill here. We are going to go to Lower Barragata Heights to see this week's amazing real estate property.
Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Half a day, I'm Madeline Campos.
And I am Sam Regis, and you're watching Properties in the Tropics.
Tune in on this week's episode for more of the hottest homes in paradise. Centrally located with the longest driveway leading to the largest carport, feast your eyes on this open floor plan. Welcome to 120 Chalanjan Chibato Camacho Way in Lower Barragata Heights. Tucked away behind JK Tile area, landmarks such as Slingstone Coffee Shop, Revan Tax, and Vinny's Store and ERC Hardware Barragata is just a stone's throw away. Appreciate 2,026 square feet of living space. This friendly neighborhood home offers 4 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. A home like such can rent from $24.50 a month and above. Built in 2012, it comes fully fenced with lots of yard space for your family and little furry friends to run around in. Imagine your fam over for Sunday barbecues, or the little kids riding their bikes and scooters on this dreamy driveway.
Just a few minutes from here, you will also find the Teason baseball field. Teason hosts many sporting games and family events, such as the upcoming 2K 5K Zombie Run that's presented by the Children's Arc. Hosted by Remax Micronesia and New Gen Physical Therapy, proceeds for this fundraising event will benefit Sanctuary of Guam. Tickets will be sold at Remax Diamond Realty, New Gen in Tamuni, and all Mescla locations. So there you have it, a house, a home, and family-friendly neighborhood activities. What more could you ask for? Looking to buy, rent, or sell? Give us a call.
Madeline Campos
And Sam Regis, Remax Diamond Realty.
Properties in the Tropics is presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Barrigada, making my home in you. I think that's how it goes. All right. Well, before we go, let's go to the movies. Tell you what, few things more wonderful in this life than being able to go to a movie theater. Hey, Matsuki, you like the movies? She does, our newest reporter, and she's wonderful. So, if Matsuki or you watching this right now know which Academy Award-winning actress is a star of the new film, The Woman King, I want to know about it. Please email me, jason@kuam.com. Let me know your answer, and if you are correct, we will pick one winner. I guess we could pick a winner too. We'll pick a winner and at random, and you can win tickets and go to the movie. Maybe you'll see Matsuki there. Who knows? But the actress is a star of the new film, The Woman King. Please let us know, and of course, good luck as always. All right, Candidate Conversations is coming up next, and today we have running for senator, incumbent Senator Joe San Agustin, incumbent Senator Pito Turlahi, and a first-time candidate, Bistra Mendiola. Good things ahead, so please stay tuned.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand.
Dance party.
Let's go.
When inspiration strikes, say yes with the new Priority Unlimited credit card from First Hawaiian Bank. Wherever you shop, whatever you're shopping for, you can earn 2% cash back on everything you buy. From small stuff to big stuff to stuff you want. A card that rewards you for every purchase and helps you stay connected to everything that matters.
Off today, I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The Governor's Child Care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the Governor's Child Care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
With Pacific Points, your everyday expenses could be helping you save. Earn points at Shell, Foodies Guam, and IT&E. Then redeem for awesome rewards. Want free fuel from Shell or snacks from Foodies Guam? What about discounts on your IT&E bill, free IT&E prepaid cards, or United Mileage Plus Miles? Sign up for free today. Visit PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Stay on top of breaking news and the biggest stories of the day with NBC News Daily. Get in-depth reporting from across the country and around the world, tips to take care of your health and your wallet, and up-to-the-minute local news. NBC News Daily, weekdays on NBC.
It's news in our native language on the KUAM News Tomorrow News Updates, streaming online on Isla Radio and on the KUAM News YouTube channel. It's part of our ongoing commitment to sustain and perpetuate our language and culture across generations. Tomorrow News Updates are brought to you by your familia at First Hawaiian Bank. This year, we're expanding our Decision 2022 platform to include comprehensive coverage of the election in the Northern Marianas. Stay with KUAM News for candidate conversations on Pacific matters, interviews with the gubernatorial teams, coverage of debates and forums, and live coverage on the general election night. We're your news leader, the voice of the Marianas.
Watch Mariana's artists, activists, and visionaries and their quest to protect, preserve, and promote Archimoto culture on the Culture Club, a weekly feature on KUAM News digital platform and the KUAM News Weekend Edition. Brought
Can
to
you say
by
hello?
Tropical Ice.
The Culture Club, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
All right, welcome back. This is Candidate Conversations. Now, you know what we've been doing throughout the election season, everybody. I sit here and I have the coolest job in showbiz because I get to talk to the Guamanians that want to serve you as members of the 37th Guam legislature. Only 15 seats are available, and there are now 15 Republicans, 15 Democrats. So you've got some choices to make, but that's why we're here, and that's what we do. Joining me on the KUM couch today, very graciously, Senator Pito Terlahi. Senator, we did not have the pleasure of speaking to you the first time around, so it's always good to see you.
Well, I just got back from Hawaii.
Oh, very nice.
I was there for like 3 months. I had, heart surgery over there, so I miss a whole lot of show.
Okay, well, we hope you're recovering very, very well.
I am.
And you had spring in your step when you were walking in here.
6 months to recover.
Oh, okay. Well,
and 3 months, 4 months have passed already, so.
Excellent.
2 more months.
Oh, very well. Well, there's about 2 more months until the general election,
yes.
So we know you're going to be strong. So, Senator, we wish you the best of health.
Thank you.
Joining us and wearing an amazing shade of Republican red is Republican candidate Bistra Mendiola. The shoes, the dress, the lipstick, everything.
Representing the party.
There you go.
There you go.
The place that you finished, I'm sure, who wouldn't want to, finish higher and everything, but a very, very respectable finish. We're going to talk about campaign strategies going forward. How satisfied were you with your first campaign experience?
I am very grateful to actually have been given that opportunity to finish the primary, above the 15. It's kind of hard for newcomers, especially people who are not known. They don't belong to a family that has served for a long time. So I was really surprised and pleasantly surprised, and I can't thank enough all the people that gave me their vote of confidence.
And you did very well, and we wish you continued success heading into the November 8th general. Well, not to be outdone, wearing Democrat blue.
That's right.
And a very nice shade, and a Sanahi, which Senator Joe San Agustin, I can only imagine weighs at least 6 pounds.
No, just a little bit.
Okay, well, aside from all that weight you bear on your neck, a lot of weight is now lifted off your shoulders, I would say, now that the budget, should we consider the budget having been, I won't say crisis.
The budget passed, there are quite a few of them that didn't vote for it, but they contributed to it. And that's shameful. I mean, don't contribute if you don't intend to pass it.
Very true.
Participate, stay with the flow, but they didn't, and that's their choosing.
Okay,
but it's done, and Senator Pito now has time to recover.
Absolutely. And the one thing of course, I ask you this all the time, Senator. Did you already go to King's, or as soon as you're done with this show, are you going over to King's?
Good question, but I'm going to wait for the wife. She's the queen.
And Senator Joe San Agustin has just earned a bunch of votes from the female constituency, so very,
Good
very well.
answer.
Okay, so we're going to do what we did last time, and we'll start with Senator Pito Terlahi.
Right.
Senator, that's your camera right there, and you have 60 seconds to address the community directly.
First off, my name is Jose Tovis Terlahi, also known as Pito. I'm running as a senator for the 37 Guam legislature. Let me just put on the background of starting this political career. First off, when I started out with the Guam Police Department, I worked there, and then from the Guam Police Department, I got drafted into the U.S. Army. Right after that, I went to Vietnam in 1968. I spent a year in Vietnam, and then I got transferred to reassigned to Okinawa. I stayed there for 3 years, and right after Okinawa, I came back to Guam. I was reinstated with the Guam Police Department, and then when Joe Ada became governor, he appointed me the director of civil defense. So I transferred out of there, and then after civil defense, my tour of civil defense, I became I ran for mayor, and I won. So I was mayor for 2 terms.
All right, absolutely. And Senator, of course, you've got a very long record of public service. I just wanted to ask you before we go to Bistro, what was your what was your job when you were in the service? What was your MOS?
Actually, I was with the security.
Okay.
Security
forces.
At one time, I was assigned over to the account department, the finance department.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to deal with numbers. So I asked if I can be transferred. So I handle those people that went AWOL in the military. So I was in charge of that processing.
Oh, okay.
So I stayed there for 3 years.
So you put down the financial tables in the calculator and pick up a rifle and stand a post.
I don't like to deal with numbers.
Very well, you got a former quartermaster here too in Senator San Augustine. All right, Bistra, once again, that's your camera, and you have 60 seconds if you please.
Hafade Guam, my name is Bistra Mendiola. I'm a Republican, number 13 on the Republican ballot. And first and foremost, I want to thank everyone that contributed to me being here today because I passed the primaries. Yes! Thank you so much for your vote of confidence again. I decided to run for the next legislature because I want to promote a lower cost of living on island. I will do anything possible. I will rally together with all branches of the government, including the Congress representative, whoever that might be this next time. Also, I want to ensure that we have a great food security by supporting our agricultural movement here. Even the backyard development of gardens is very important for us to ensure that we have stock, pretty good stock. And thirdly, I just want to bring more economic development. As a small business owner, I have fresh ideas I can bring in and help our island to simply become a better place to live and work.
All right, very well, Bistra, thank you. May I ask, did you receive any feedback from the last time you were here on our show from the private sector about some of your ideas for economic diversity?
Yes, it was a tremendously positive feedback that I received, and a lot of people felt that what I was talking about and was something that is doable and is very important. And it is, because we're already seeing the worldwide global food shortages, supplies. This year it's a logistical issue, but I'm hearing from the economy specialists, people that are political analysts, people that are in agriculture. I'm hearing very alarming sounds that next year we may have an actual food shortage because the war with Ukraine and Russia is shorting the nitrogen supply.
Yeah,
so.
I got to tell you, I've never heard the phrase food security until this year, and I've heard it so many times. Yes. And these are learned experts, people that think 3-4 years down the road, and they said that is a very pressing issue. So perhaps we'll talk about that some more. But I want to give Senator San Augustine his 60 seconds. Senator, you can talk about what it's like to ride a Harley, or your own history of public service and just being a Guamanian.
Well, Jason, my name is Joe Shimizu San Augustine, and I'm also number 13, but on the Democrat side, the blue side. So, and what we're promoting is I'm the 13th warrior. You watched that movie.
Ah, yes.
Okay, so I'm the 13th warrior on the Democrat side, and first I want to recognize my wife. I'm happily married to Joanne Babauta Chargla from Santa Rita. We have 3 children, and we have 11 grandchildren and 1 great-grand. And then,
how many bank accounts do you have?
We have 1 good account.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Write checks
for 11 grands, that's necessary.
Yes, and then back with me, I'm a graduate of JFK. I'm a student from the public school system. Okay, I'm a graduate from JFK. I joined the Army Reserve in 1977. And then after that, when I was in the police department also, a former police officer. I used to work for Senator Pito Tulay before back then. I mean, I'm that young, versus Senator Pito. But that's okay. We're still together as one. And moving along, and then I was on the Board of Education. And then I was, when I worked at Revenue and Tax after I retired, after 20 years, I worked at Revenue and Tax as an assistant criminal tax investigator. So when we're talking about money, I think I got a good grasp of it.
Okay, real quick question, Senator. I have never known you, as long as I've had the privilege of interviewing you, without the mustache. How long have you been growing that?
Oh, ever since the military. And it just keeps changing colors. It's just turning white. That's all. That's the only difference.
I was going to say, no, seriously, I've never known you to not have the mustache, but it's a very nice mustache. For those of you out there in the voting constituency, if mustaches do it for you, give Senator Joe San Agustin, a look.
Yeah, and if you need the rags, get on a Harley. That's the way to do it.
There you go. Okay, you just earned a few more votes, not only from the females, but also from the Harley community. But all right, guys, let's talk about island politics and some issues right now. And we'll start with Senator Pito. Senator, the number of homeless on our island seems to have increased, as it's just so clearly visible on almost every street corner now. You see somebody, they may be panhandling or asking for money or donations. They've got their children in hand. How would you like to address this if the people...
Thank you for that question, but by definition, when you talk about homelessness, you're talking about people that don't have homes. So I think the remedy to that, satisfy the situation on homelessness, is to what I plan to do as a senator with the 37 Guam legislature. What I want to do is set aside 2% of any tax program and save that and start building homes for these homeless. That's the only way we can remedy the homeless situation on Guam. That's the only way I know. And if I make it for the 37 Guam legislature, I would do that. I would introduce a bill where we can get at least 2% on any tax program and save that money and start building homes for these people, and even apartments. That's the only way we can resolve the problem on homelessness.
All right, thank you, Senator. Bistro, I'd like to ask you the same question. Homelessness, obviously a very pressing issue. I mean, it's heartbreaking, it's embarrassing, it's frustrating. You also get kind of like what they call, like a survivor's paradox, because you're like, why am I here, like in a car, sitting in air conditioning, going to a job, and yet there's somebody over here who is, humbling themselves, asking for a handout. So if elected, what will you do to solve this problem?
I did perform a little bit of research, what's already on the books that can be changed. Currently, as far as I understand, we are not allowed to build separate buildings like a granny flat or in-law guest house on certain zone lots. And I did see a legislation introduced this last legislation that I would want to reintroduce, just to allow all those people that already have a home that want to build so that their children can move in there, or their elderly parents, so that they can share that cost of the mortgage servicing or the power bill. Because right now, the rental prices are the ones that are driving that market to extinction. Basically, there's a lot of people who can't afford to pay the rent. Mortgage rates are going up. We can't do anything about it. That's one thing. Reintroduce that bill. And then, of course, we do have Chamorro Land Trust and ancestral lands. That process needs to be improved in my mind, because I've spoken to someone that already has a property, and they were basically giving the runaround. They had to resurvey the land, and the question was why that map is already there on the books. Why they need to go spend. And the problem was that none of the surveys wanted to survey and perform the service. So it's this limbo process. So there are a lot of things that we can do.
That is a very interesting issue, and one that's gnawing at the community. I know from my work at the real estate community is they were like, you have people who have land. Certain public policies right now prohibit you from actually building on land that technically is yours. Therefore, the property that you do have is, on paper, is almost worth nothing. So
I did consult with Gina as well. So
so
I'm a former realtor as well. So I do have connections to that community, and I'm very much on their side. There are quite a few red tapes that we need to simply peel off and remove, forget about them.
All right, well done. Thank you, Beaster. All right, Senator, I know you've been chomping at the bit to talk about this because you are someone who always likes to reach out to the people and get directly involved. So what does it mean to you, just as a Guamanian, as a neighbor, to see people in those positions, whatever their situation is, and then as a policymaker, what can you do to hopefully rectify the situation?
Well, you know, one of the things, Jason, we need to first, and Senator Peter brought it up, and also Beaster brought it up, you know, we have to define homelessness. Because when you see folks panhandling, look across the street. I mean, just down the street here from here. Big signs saying, we're hiring. But somebody are panhandling.
Yes.
And I've spoken to several of them, and I've given money to them. I said, why don't you go to public health? I says, you know, when I get a chance, you know, so they can get a SNAP program, so they can get, you know, they can have the Quest card so they can buy food. I said, where do you guys live in? They said, oh, we live in the housing. And you know, there is housing, homeless housing available today. The key there is that, and some of them don't want to go there. So, and then what I worry about is other than when we mention homelessness, when we talk about possible putting aside some of the funds from the tax, well, let's take a look at first where they come from, who they are, and so we know where we're going to put them, and they're willing to go there, because some of the folks that are registered in the homelessness program with the governor's office choose not to live there. Well, then where are you at? They're on the side of the road. And I'm like, wait a minute. We need to change the concept and maybe find a way where we can have homes available in the area where they're at, so they don't have to go to Maiti. They don't have to go to Tumuni. Maybe it's all in Deredu.
Right.
And we need to do something and figure out how we need to work this and deal with the market, you know, the realtors, and find it, because right now in the realtors industry, they're worried about now the H2 workers coming.
It'd be interesting also, Senator, to see like how the mayors like feel like which villages can take on that additional,
and
I don't want to call it burden, but
get staff housing that they used to have in each village, and have it for the homelessness program.
All
and
right.
then turn this program around.
All right, well
but there's also one interesting thing that we never bring up. The real homeless people will be, you know who? The young generation. They're the ones that will not be able to buy their own home because prices and cost of living is just out of whack.
Again, we come back, and I'm sure you agree as a former realtor. As you know, can you ever really be a former realtor? You know, you've always got it in your heart, but
you always go and check out the.
But you know, the middle class of potential homeowners has basically like dropped out. You're either really doing well. You know, I'm talking like upper echelon, like military officer or business owner or someone, you can afford a really nice home, or you're not doing so well, but you've got government programs to actually subsidize you, so everybody in the middle kind of like falls out. So.
Always forgotten, the golden middle.
All right, fantastic thoughts, and we are going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, your video questions for Senator Peter Torlahi, Beaster Mendiola, and Senator Josan Augustine, plus our lightning round where we find out the lighter side of the candidates. That's coming right up.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
As the Decision 2022 race shapes up, keep it with KUAM News for all the news you need to know as you head to the polls. From weekly candidate profile analysis on the Hub on KUAM News HotSpot to our online candidate directory on KUAM.com, special features on KUAM Digital and KUAM News Primetime, plus live coverage of forums and debates. We're your one-stop source on every platform. Stay informed with KUAM News, your news leader, the voice of the Marianas.
With Pacific Points, your everyday expenses could be helping you save. Earn points at Shell, Foodies Guam, and IT&E. Then redeem for awesome rewards. Want free fuel from Shell or snacks from Foodies Guam? What about discounts on your IT&E bill, free IT&E prepaid cards, or United Mileage Plus miles? Sign up for free today. Visit PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Off today, I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The governor's child care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the governor's child care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
There's epic, then there's ultra epic.
Capture life in vivid resolution with Galaxy's most advanced camera system and the built-in S Pen that puts you in control. Every moment, every angle, from sunrise to sundown and beyond. More striking, more stunning than ever. Find the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra at your nearest iTunes store or online at ite.net and change the way you work and play.
Dance party.
Let's go.
When inspiration strikes, say yes with the new Priority Unlimited credit card from First Hawaiian Bank. Wherever you shop, whatever you're shopping for, you can earn 2% cash back on everything you buy. From small stuff to big stuff to stuff you want. A card that rewards you for every purchase and helps you stay connected to everything that matters.
All right, Candidate Conversations continues. Man, I wish the audio would have been live on that live feed you're watching right here on YouTube, Facebook Live, and KUAM TV8, because Senator Pito Terlahi, Bistro Mendiola, Senator Joseph Nagacin, and I were talking about, of all things, the animal kingdom. We're talking about elephants and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, I'm not kidding, by the way. But that kind of is germane to our first video question, and this one, everybody, comes from our friend Jen.
Hi, my name is Jen Surratt, and senators and prospective senators, what are you going to do to address the horrendous dog situation on the island?
Okay, so again, we start with Senator Pito Terlahi. And Senator, the stray dog situation here on Guam, Jen was even saying it's horrendous. 60,000 stray dogs.
They do have a program where they collect all these stray dogs and send it off island. That's the only thing that I know about stray dogs. Mm-hmm. To me personally,
that's the Booney Dog program.
Yeah, yeah. To me personally, catch them and get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
as far as not send them off the island.
We have thousands of dogs, stray dogs on the island, and there's no program that we can get rid of them, other than probably what they're doing right now is sending them off island, and that's the only thing that is being done right now.
So just to make sure, are you saying euthanize the dogs, or
the what?
Like put them to sleep?
Put them to sleep.
Okay,
yes.
Euthanasia for dogs. Okay.
We can't do that. Yeah. I guess that's not permitted in our culture, to put them to sleep. But I believe that in order for us to really get rid of the thousands of dogs that roams around the island, I think we need to do something like that. Just put them to sleep.
All right, thank you, Senator. Okay, Bistro, obviously the scale and scope of this problem, we are greatly outnumbered, and we were talking during commercial break why dogs and cats, have such large litters. You were saying, biologically that's just the way that they're bred, but we're being overrun, and that's not hyperbole by these animals.
You know why we're being overrun? Because we have very irresponsible owners out there that just don't take care of that problem. I've seen many dogs that are literally dumped on our street. We had to feed them because our street is pretty much in the jungle. We have a lot of pets around. And we took them in, we took care of them, but we can't take them in. I have personally 4 dogs. So one more, that will be a little bit extreme. and what to do about the dog population is a really hard question for me, because I'm a big animal lover. I have cats and dogs and chickens. So I don't want to go to the extreme, but I've seen that none of the programs that have been out there with catch, spay, neuter, and release back into the wild is working, because we continuously have homeowners and dog owners or cat owners that don't do the deed before it's too late.
Right. I know I'm generalizing here, but a lot of people think it's someone else's problem, or those are just stray booney dogs, and my dog's okay.
I think more outreach, on our part as a community, and possibly the mayor's offices can partner up just to explain that we're having this problem, and communicate the message. We can't be harboring so many animals. It's actually dangerous. I mean, my husband used to tell me when I was little, I was afraid to go outside and ride my bike because we always got attacked by dogs, and that's, you know, we have a lot of kids that are out there. So outreach and possibly even toughening up the penalties for breaking the leash law, because as far as I know right now we do have the leash law on
All right. Well, Senator Joe San Augustine, I mean, being from Dededo, you know, like how many dogs are just like roaming around. Fortunately, a lot of them are not of the feral variety where, you know, like they will just outright attack you. I mean, yeah, you walk by, you know, their territory or something they're trying to eat, they may get a little aggro, but, you know, what do you think can be done about this?
Well, you know, one of the things we all miss on is that the Department of Agriculture has a animal control section. We may find a way to make sure they're funded so there's an adequate number of officers out there. And then you go after the lease program, the lease or cage your animal, and if not, then get fined for it. So that it forces owners, because you know, I live in Jigo now, Jason, now, and we have folks that left their animals, their dogs or their cats, and then new owners come, and the first thing they do is they get a dog pail and they put it out and they feed the dogs or the cats. And then they don't claim it. Well, I'll tell you what, if there's a dog pail in front of your house, it's yours. And if they have the Department of Agriculture fully funded to promote that program, and then get GAIN involved, because GAIN, you know, they're in to save animals. There's not a problem with that one.
And I just don't understand how we're going to get rid of thousands of dogs.
No, there's no way.
I mean, we've given the responsibility to the Department for Agriculture, but where are they going to put the dogs?
Exactly. Put them
They're
in
going
sleep.
to keep collecting dogs and thousands and 2,000s, and I would think that put them to sleep and get rid of them. That's the only way we can reduce the numbers.
A very, very harsh solution, but I know that your sentiments are shared by a lot of people, and they're like, you know, it's
I love dogs too. I got 9 dogs at the house, but
wow. So 4 dogs, 9 dogs, Senator. How many do you have?
We used to have 9 dogs, but they all passed away, and we're not going to put up until we got our gate going in our house so that we can have dogs again.
There you go.
One of the things we did do was we always tied our dogs. We make sure they're tied. If not, they're in the kennel. It's one or the other, because you have to be a responsible owner.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just as liable as if anybody gets hurt out
You
there.
are complicit. Oh, very good point. All right. Second question. This is from Hendrik. So let's go to the video feed.
My name is Hendrik Ivlak, and I am a grant proposal writer. And my question is, do you think the FSM community on Guam can play important roles in the development or organization of our highland?
All right, Senator Pito, so the topic is, do you believe, and I'm absolutely sure that you do, that the FSM community, our brothers and sisters from the Federated States of Micronesia, can play a critical role in Guam's development?
You know, my friend, I used to own a barracks. I used to own my own construction company. And at one time, I had, you know, FSM, you know, families staying in my barracks. And, you know, these people, you just call them and ask them to help you out. And, you know, they'll go out there and help out. They don't even ask for a penny. They'll just help, or you take them around and ask them to clean on the side of the road. You know, they don't ask for anything else, but I do believe that they can contribute to our situation in Guam.
All right, very good, Senator. Bistra, I guess we can all, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that they absolutely do play a critical role in us getting through this together and reestablishing the economy and everything, but how exactly?
Well, they have been doing it already for many years. I've been here for 23 years. I lived right next door to GCC. And over the years, I've seen a lot of FSM students come in, attend the trainings, then go out and be skillful at one or the other field. I mean, that is the contribution. When you gain your skill and get back out there in society and start contributing by joining the workforce. Also, they have a large community that gets together and help each other. So not only that, they have been doing it. So it's a astounding yes.
Good point. Okay, and Senator, we had a bunch of years after 2010 where there was a rash of crime that unfortunately involved our brothers and sisters from the FSM community, and they got very, very marginalized and everything. But they are part of our island family, and they are very important to us here. So
yes, they are. They've always contributed to Guam. In any group, you're always going to find 10% that you need to bring them in and say, hey, cut it out. But the FSM folks they're just like us, like the Guamanians, like the Filipinos, like everybody else. We need to all just work together. Everybody wants to contribute. When the FSM folks came to Guam, it's like I said, the other nationalities that came to Guam, they're here to make Guam their home. Let's make sure that we all work together as one team, because it's all about Guam. It's not about anything else.
If they are being shortchanged, though, as far as opportunities afforded to them, as a sitting senator, what can you do to actually increase job opportunities, like Bistra said, like skill development, like things like that?
Well, GCC has a program, the boot camp.
Yes.
They have all the different programs that everyone can participate in. The Trades Academy, there's a lot of programs on Guam. People need to just get off the couch, turn off the TV, and go out there, because it's there for you. I mean, we budgeted, the agencies do everything they can, but if folks don't get up and go and ask for it, what they say, right? If you knock on the door, somebody will answer it.
Yeah, taking the first step.
Take the step, because we're here to help you.
Go ahead, Senator Pito.
Jobs also. Some of our own Chamorros here, if you tell them, the rate of pay that they're going to be getting, sometimes they refuse. But the FSM citizens, they'll accept any type of jobs. It doesn't matter how much you pay them.
Because loyalty, when they get a job, they believe in being loyal to wherever they work.
Yes.
You will find a lot of the FSM folks have moved up the ladder. You see it at King's, you see it at McDonald's, you see it at all the agencies. They go in there, they earn their keep, and they move up. And if everybody starts working in that line of sight, everything will start fixing itself.
All right, very true. So, okay, so our last video question comes to Marcel, and this is a very, very delicate and disturbing topic.
Hello, my name is Marcel, and I'm from the village of Tamuni. My question to the electoral candidates is, what are you going to do to prevent children from being bullied at school?
All right, Tamuning in the house. So we go to Senator Pito Turlahi, the incumbent. Senator, preventing students from being bullied at school. School's supposed to be your second home.
I think it should start with the home. And start with the parents. Counsel your kids not to do things like that. It must start at the home. Show them that, the discipline, and you shouldn't criticize other people and, bully them because they're not part of you. They're not part of being tomorrow. So it starts at the home. And if the parents are strict enough to just continue telling their kids that this is wrong, you shouldn't do this, just believe in our culture and respect. That's all that you need to do.
All right. Well, Bistra, as a potential policymaker, what can you do from a policy standpoint to curb the very real problem that we have here with bullying?
Well, there are certain penalties out there, even for misdemeanors, that could be contributed to the solution of this problem. I completely agree with Senator Turlahi. It's just a parent's job to educate and teach kids respect, and if they're failing at that, the parents need to also take a course or contribute to community, because that is an issue that will impact not only their child but the other children that are surrounded. So that's probably one thing as a policy. Other than that, again, outreach is very important. Also within the school system, a better reaction to incident also must be enforced.
As a woman, how much does this concern you? I'm sure like a great deal, but like about just children that aren't even your own, just being mocked, being potentially even like assaulted, being put through a lot of emotional trauma and everything, like going through that in school.
Well, as a mom of 2 boys, I completely understand the concern. And every mom out there will agree with me that all kids are like our own, and we feel their pain. So that is a very important issue that we need to address.
Okay, and Senator, your thoughts on bullying in school?
You know, the bullying in schools, you know, I first, number one is turn to the Department of Education. And then work it from there. And the reason why I say Department of Education is because they're the public sector. The private schools, there's a mandatory, all parents must come to all the parent-teachers conference, everything. They must be able to go there. We need to figure out a way how we can help the Department of Education, the board, because I was on the board for 6 years, on how to change it where it'd be mandatory. Parents who participate on parent-teachers conference, they get to find out from teachers exactly what their kids are doing. Because exactly what Senator Peter brought up and Bista brought up, it starts at the home.
Is bullying cause for expulsion? I know John Fernandez, the now former superintendent, was saying, we brought that up before, like when kids were doing like really, really bad stuff, but he goes, you know, we really try and stay away from like, you know, the E word as much as we can, because when you expel a kid, even if they did like something bad, I mean, that stays with them their entire, you know, their entire career.
And all we're doing is we're contributing to the crimes we have in Guam.
Right.
You push them out, then you end up saying, why is he like this? Well, look what they did to him.
But if you're bullying somebody, that's a very heinous crime.
But we need to turn that, because on many occasions, there may have been something that happened to that kid during his life that it caused him to do that, because it starts at home. Remember you mentioned it earlier, it's the second home. So let's make sure the second home is as good as the first home.
Exactly.
And then everything becomes one home.
But we need to revisit the law right now, because I don't think there's any violation in bullying in as far as making an arrest. I don't think there's any law that restrict or a person can be arrested if one person will bully another.
There's no official charge for bullying. Right? You can get harassment, terrorizing, but I don't know about bullying.
Yeah, there's no charges.
That's a good point,
There's no criminal offense on that one. So we probably need to consider making a law regarding bullying. And if you bully somebody, you can be arrested for it. Of course, the school have their own policies that if you bully another person in the school, you can get suspended. But that's about it. But in as far as outside, there's no law regarding bullying. You cannot be arrested for bullying somebody, you know, telling somebody, or show somebody your finger, you know. There's no law against that. So what we need to do as a senator is consider working on a bill, and maybe if it passes, then it passes. But there's no law regarding bullying.
That's very
There's
true.
no criminal act on that one.
When we change the harassment law, make it be inclusive of the word bullying.
There you go.
That's how we.
Understanding the problem itself is job number one. All right. Good thoughts, all. All right. Please stay tuned, because when we come back, we wrap up with our lightning round. You are going to like what's coming up next.
Hi today, I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The governor's child care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the governor's child care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
It's Feed Me Fridays on KUAM News HotSpot. Good eats, good company, and beyond good chow. With Team KUAM checking out Guam's most tantalizing, tempting menu items every Friday on KUAM News HotSpot or stream online. Brought to you by Devondale, real milk from free grazing cows.
All right, we are back right now. We are going to talk about some really fun things. You know, each of these senatorial candidates, they're also Guamanians. They're human beings, and they have interests that certainly extend outside the normal realm of being a political candidate. So we are going to give you a snapshot of what some of their interests are. And we start with Senator Peter Terlahi. Same questions for each of you, and this is a lightning round, right? So we'll go through these real fast. Senator, what is your favorite sweet treat?
I don't know, custard pie maybe?
That's good.
Yeah.
With or without whipped cream?
Without?
Without?
Doesn't matter. It's sweet anyway.
There you go, straight up. Bistro?
My,
you're from Europe, so you've got a very distinct palate.
I do have already one that I miss dearly, and that's my mom's coconut bites. It's something that you don't bake. You kind of make like a dough from it and roll it up in a coconut flour. It's delicious.
Okay, is that on your Pinterest page? Can
No.
you please put it on there, because
I will try.
I would love to get that
find it,
recipe.
yeah.
All right, Senator St. Augustine, your favorite sweet treat?
Oh, vanilla ice cream, or if not, a banana split.
There you go. Hey, you get your dairy, you get your potassium.
Yeah, all in one.
Nice combination. All right, Senator Pito Tirali, what is your worst habit?
Maybe going to the club without telling my wife.
Whoa. Okay. You have to get permission first, of course. Huh?
I would tell my wife that I'm going to the club, but I'm not going to tell her which club I'm going to go to.
Wait, we're actually talking about like the nightclub, like, like Captain's, or, the Globe, Onyx, or just the bar?
Especially during election time, we have this fundraising going on in all the clubs.
Okay.
But that one, I usually would go with my wife. But if it's not in a political year, then I go out my way.
Yeah, you still got to get permission. All right. Bistro, that's hard to top, but Bistro, what is your worst habit?
My worst habit, and my husband will certify what I'm just saying. When I try to talk to him, I kind of extend my story so big that he's always like, you circle around and I still don't get the point, because I try to explain it so well that I get lost in explanation.
So you're saying you can basically talk for hours?
Yes.
You're going to make a fantastic senator on that very merit.
Hopefully.
Well, hopefully if Senator St. Augustine doesn't run over here and give me a black eye, so he'll tell us his worst habit.
My worst habit would be maybe smoking, maybe a bad habit, but actually managing time so that my wife and I can go out riding on our motorcycle, on our Harleys. That's one of the things we've been trying to do, is trying to find the time, and maybe that's a bad habit. You're trying to find time, but with what we have to do every day, we keep so busy, and the weather doesn't help. But other than that, I would say it'd be cigarette, and I've cut it down, and hope to cut it down to the point where I just can throw it away.
Well, you know what they say: the couple that rides together stays together. I believe that's the unofficial 11th commandment, Senator. All right, Senator Pito, what is your favorite all-time song? Probably playing at the club that you didn't ask your wife if you could go to.
Well, I do have a favorite song, but it's in tomorrow.
Oh, which one? Casamiento?
No, not Casamiento. Malofa now, Fiona. Malofa now, Fiona. Para. You walked by me and you didn't even recognize me. That's in English, yeah.
Oh, okay. So if the club you're saying you're going to is the karaoke bar, I think you get a pass. All right. Well, we'll talk about that next time. All right, Bistro, what is your favorite song?
Okay, I actually have two, not one. I'm kind of grew up around my sister in the 80s, the late 80s and early 90s. So there was this one gorgeous singer, Karen White.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Debbie Gibson, but...
I really like Karen White. Her voice is just so distinct. And my sister was a big fan, so I kind of tackled along. And she made one song that was called Superwoman.
Yep.
And that is in the morning at your breakfast on your table.
And make sure that the coffee has its sugar and cream.
Oh, wow, there you go. Okay, we speak the same language then.
Okay. I'm not your superwoman, but perhaps Bistro Mendiola is, if you consider her as a senator. All right, Senator, your favorite song. I know you listen to a lot of music.
And that's this. I was just thinking about that. What would be my favorite song? You know what? There's a variety of songs out there. My wife and I go to karaoke, and I'm like, I'll probably mess this up, but I'm gonna leave it alone. There's a lot of songs. There are a lot of it's
I know what you're gonna say.
Love songs. The wife and I would sing to each other, and I'm trying to remember the name, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
You're probably gonna say "I Can't Tell You Why" by the Eagles, right? I can see you. I can see you serenading Auntie with that.
Yeah, because I'm that young. I can work with that.
All right, Senator Pito Tirali, what is your hidden talent?
Actually, my hidden talent is, I grew up teaching martial art. Yeah.
Which one? Karate, Kung Fu, Taekwondo, or?
Actually, Taekwondo.
Taekwondo, okay.
And Korean karate. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo.
Okay.
So,
Bistro, you want to change places with the senator? Because I'm in striking distance right now.
I don't usually show off about the style that I do, but that used to be my favorite. Just going out there and demonstrating and teaching people how to defend themselves.
And there's also a very spiritual side to martial arts,
Yes,
obviously,
yes,
and everything.
yes.
So, all right, very interesting. All right, Bistro, your hidden talents.
I can make soap from scratch.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
That is amazing. How long does it take to make a good batch of soap?
Depends on how big batch you want, but
Okay.
if you know how to put together a custard type of consistency, then you can certainly make a soap, and it will take about a month to dry though.
Oh, wow. Interesting. All right, Senator, your hidden talent.
Maybe shooting pool, billiards.
Okay.
I love shooting pool.
9-ball or 8-ball?
It doesn't matter.
Whoa.
There's only 6
Challenge
pockets.
accepted.
There's only 6 pockets there.
Okay.
And I don't get into golf because I don't want to look for my balls. I got it on the table.
Okay.
It'll come back to me.
Well, Nestor Lacanto was waiting for you on the fairway, I'm sure, if you ever want to go head-to-head with this. Okay. Have you ever played snooker?
No.
The big table?
No, I played billiards on the big table, but you know, it doesn't matter the size of the table. It's if you have the talent to know how to hit the ball.
All right.
Actually, it's only the 2 tables that is out there is
There's
8
6 or 8,
feet and
6 or
9
8.
feet.
Yeah,
That's
Yep.
all the tables that you have.
Very nice. All right. So we thank each and every one of you, Senator Pito Terlahi, Bistro Mendiola, and Senator Joseph Augustine, for sharing your insight, sharing your ideas, obviously sharing your passion for our island community. And we wish each of you the best of luck heading into the November 8th general election. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jace.
All right.
Ladies and
Keep it
gentlemen, I
clean.
want to say that I didn't say this in the beginning, but I'm number 12 on the ballot.
There you go. Oh, Bistro,
12
you're
and 13 somewhere.
13.
And George
Bingo.
number
12 and
13.
2 13s. All right, that is going to do it for the Hotspot today. Thank you as always for watching. Have a safe lunch, everybody. Have a wonderful Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.